I'm gonna see if I can message the guest that said they're gonna come here and just make sure they've got the link and everything.
We've got a Cara Palmer that just came in with no video.
Cool.
Hi, Cara.
Hi, Cara.
Tara, Sarah, Cara, and Roma.
Oh, thanks.
Sarah, Sarah, Tara. Oh my gosh.
That's not a tongue twister. And Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl.
Yay.
Oh, Cheryl's here? Hi, Cheryl.
I forgot my notes. I'll be right back.
Oh, there's Cara. Hi, Cara.
Hello. Who else is here?
I'm Sarah. I'm going to turn my mic off. We don't need to hear anything else from me.
Thank you for hosting us, Sarah. This Zoom, I can tell, is already better.
Oh, well, so far people can join us, so yay!
No problems yet. Kara's making some tea, or she got some tarot cards. I've got my tea. I made lavender chamomile, and I just got out of the bath. Yeah. What are you drinking, Tara?
Oh, I'm straight up grocery store stuff. This is English breakfast. Oh, and Cheryl's gonna go make tea too. Okay, everybody's gonna have tea.
Yeah, you got some time.
We all got the tea.
What is that, golden
milk? I'm like really struggling to stay awake these days, so I was like, yeah, let me get some caffeine up in here.
I have no plans after this, so I'm like, I'm gonna drink my lavender chamomile tea and then go to bed.
Yay! I look forward to bedtime, but yeah, in the meantime, we've got a couple hours where I still need to be awake.
I was worried that people wouldn't want to do this on a Saturday night, but then I'm like, it's the new moon. We're all wanting to stay in, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what day of the week it is.
Actually, speaking of tarot, where did I put my tarot? Ah. Oh, there it is.
All right. I'm wondering if Heather made it in. Hi, Kim. It's good to see everybody, and no one's having any issues getting in. Oh, I see there's a chat bar. There we go. Get all that going. So yeah, hi. It's 8 o'clock. We're gonna go ahead and get started. I know there's still some people probably gonna be hopping on in the next couple of minutes. Oh, hi Casey. I was wondering. I was like, Casey, it's good to have everybody back. We're kind of like the same little pod every month. It's cool. Same people. I really want to get some more discussion time in these monthly meetings. I feel like I was kind of just cramming too much information all at once, and then also I was a little disconnected from you guys last month, not being able to see you. So I think this time should be a bit better. I can share my screen while also seeing your faces and seeing the chats and stuff. So that'll be nice. But I do want to, let's see, record. I'm going to record because I got a request for a recording. So we are recording. Yay. All right, so this is the seed moon. Just kind of recapping, last month was fasting moon. It was a good time to cleanse the body and sort of conserve energy. And I'm wondering if any of you guys did any of those things, because most of you guys were on that call here. Want to chime in about that? Cheryl was the leader for that. I did like a 7-day fast right before I went to Mexico for 10 days. So that was really nice way to prepare for that. Hi, Heather, welcome. Hey.
Hey there.
All right.
How are you, ladies?
Doing good. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Hi, Eliana's here. Great, cool. All right, so we'll get started. I am going to go ahead and share my screen. Oh, it says it's disabled. Help, Sarah. Sarah is hosting our Zoom tonight, and hopefully I can be able to share my screen.
At it. Let me see why it's doing it this time. Advanced.
Because we had it all figured out earlier.
Yeah, it worked earlier. Slides is a virtual portion of basic. Let's see.
I see your screen, I think.
Well, that's not what I wanted. Okay, hold on.
Pretty and colorful.
Let me try this again.
Let's see.
Hey, Robbie. Do you know anything about this stuff? It worked earlier.
Oh no.
Oh, multiple participants. There we go. Let's see. Can you try now?
Yep, it's gonna work for me now.
Perfect.
Cheryl was just saying she did the kitchery for 3 days. That's cool. My 7-day fast was like a mixture of the master cleanse and then ending with kitchery. Was nice, resetting my body, and been eating less, like smaller meals and less often, maybe more frequently, but just very much smaller meals. Especially in Mexico, it was a lot of fruit and things like that. So now, so the idea is the fasting moon, you're like cleansing and getting the soil ready. So then now we have the seed moon, planting the seeds. So a lot of this allegory can be tied into the earth and the cycles in nature, but it can also be tied into things in humanity. So planting seeds. So some general ideas of this month is going to be like inspiration. Let's see, I'm going to go to the next slide. Yeah. Inspiration, intuition, taking risks. So listening to that voice inside, or writing down those crazy ideas you had, like what if you could do something totally outside of what you think is possible, but writing those crazy ideas down. And this is a good time, like those little ideas are like the seeds that you can plant and water throughout the year. So making little commitments. March is a good time because drawing in the energy from Pisces. This is Pisces new moon, and the sun is in Pisces for a little bit longer. That's a sign of intuition and like a deep knowledge, a deep knowing, a faith. And you're pulling in the energy of Aries, which is like courageous, risk-taking, and going for it. Initiation. So initiating like that. So taking action on those things that are really unique to you and your intuitions. A little preview. So next month is going to be the mating moon. it's a year that does not have a courting moon, so we go right to the mating moon. And next month we'll be talking with my friend Laura, who I met in Thailand, who's actually from here, from Maryland, but she lives on the other side of the bridge. And she's an expert on all things women's health. And we're going to be talking about fertility awareness, yoni steaming, yoni eggs, and the like. So that'll be fun for the mating moon coming up. The tarot cards for this month are the Magician and the High Priestess, so Major Arcana 1 and 2. And it's the balance and the duality, the masculine, the feminine, creating their own reality, the yin and yang. And then also the pages are risk takers, adventurous, explorers, things like that. Bringing in some of those bright colors in your wardrobe and in your surroundings. The pastel colors, the greens and yellows, are a good way to kind of tune into bring in those colors in from nature as you start to see the crocuses blooming and the daffodils and all the greens. So of course you all are familiar with the traditions of Easter, but its origins is Ostara. So in the pagan wheel of the year, which we should all be pretty familiar with now, is the traditional name for your spring equinox, which is going to be happening this week on March 20th. Thankfully, we're finally entering into spring. So the word Ostara is the origins for the word Easter. Easter is, of course, a day of rebirth and resurrection of Jesus, but it's exactly like the same as the pagan tradition of rebirth and the regeneration of the earth. The symbols are the hare, symbolizing abundance. Even the word abundance, the part that's like bun is bunny. So rabbits can get pregnant while they're pregnant, like they can just keep producing babies constantly, and and they're very abundant and fertile in that way. So that's why we see them this time of year, and why that symbol is for fertility and abundance, not just about giving new life, but growth and abundance in wealth and creativity. The egg is just much like the seed. An egg is just like a seed, so it's that potential, that possibility for new life. I like this little picture of these eggs because they had like the goddess symbols and some bind runes, and this the triquetra, which I remember Tara was with you when you got your triquetra tattoo. That was a fun day.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I don't know if I have the ability to show it right now. But yeah, I do have that as a tattoo.
And there's the other symbol behind Cara Dwin and her cauldron is. Do you have this tattoo also? The Triskelion?
I do. Yeah, I do. It's
that one's more accessible.
That one is here, and the triquetra is there. So yeah. Yeah, I happen to have all the tattoos.
So Cara Dwin is our Celtic Irish goddess who is trying to create the perfect child in this vat or her cauldron, and a drop of that magical elixir gets dropped on the person she's hired to help her, and he becomes like this perfect being instead of her son. And then this story goes, they keep shape shifting, and she chases him, and eventually one of them becomes a chicken and she eats him. I'm not really sure. I'm sorry, I'm not as versed on the Cara Dwins. story, but these are the traditions that are around springtime. And we have Persephone, that's the Greek goddess of the underworld. She was taken to the underworld to live with Hades, and that's why, according to Greeks, we don't have any growth in the winter time, because Persephone's taking her annual sabbatical to the underworld. And then when she comes back, she awakens and everything starts perking back up. Anyone else have anything to add to this? Just raise your hand or let me know if you have a little story or anecdote to share about any of these springtime deities or traditions. Trying to be more inclusive in discussing. Or any fun traditions that you have. We'll get into like spring recipes here in just a minute. Okay, so the full moon this month is called the storm moon or the worm moon. It's going to be a lot of rains and gray skies is tradition for this time of year. It's the water that's going to give us life that's essential for our crops. The ground is thawing, the worms are coming out, and as they say, April showers bring May flowers. So this full moon is the storm moon. At the end of the month is Holi festival, the Hindu festival of colors or festival of spring, festival of love, and that's also celebrated on the full moon. So that's Sunday, March 28th, and I'm not sure if there's going to be any special things happening this year, because I know last year they did not have a Holi festival. Heather, if I may call you out, you've gone to some Holi celebrations, right? Was it in DC or Philadelphia?
Yeah, I went up to DC and I've actually looked to see if I can find anything again this year, but with COVID, I haven't seen anything yet. But it's amazing.
Yeah, I've
I
never
loved
been
it.
to one myself. I think that would be really awesome. I hear the one in Philadelphia is pretty cool. And the one you went to was in DC?
It was in DC, kind of in the Rockville area. If I find out anything again, I'll put it in the red tent. I've been looking. But it wasn't actually celebrated on Holi. It was celebrated a little bit later because of the weather. It was in May, I think, because of the weather.
Well, it's usually always on a full moon. And we just had Mahashivratri on the new moon just a few days ago, which would have been more appropriate to talk about last month, since one of the traditions during Mahashivratri is fasting all day and then staying up all night. So that was just happened the other on Thursday. If anyone else celebrated. Okay, getting right into some spring stuff. Our wild greens. I know Cheryl knows a lot about this. Cara has. Cara, were you at any of the wild edible discussions at Coops?
I think that just we had talked about it a little bit when I was there in general. You were talking a lot about chickweed that is particularly great for women's health. I thought that was neat. But yeah.
Yeah, so the chickweed is definitely up. I've seen it. It's all around now. If you can find an area that's clean, that like no dogs have peed on it, or it's not on the side of the road where car exhaust fumes are going, and it's not on any land that's being sprayed with Roundup or anything like that. If you happen to find that, chickweed is really great. You can just it's really easy to pick because it's so it doesn't like hold the roots don't even hold into the ground. It just like it wants to be picked, and it kind of looks like spaghetti the way it streams out, and then all these little green leafies are. I love just putting them in like a green drink. So you grab some chickweed and you grab some plantain leaves. Those are the ones with the long lines that go all the way from the tip of the stem to the tip. Plantain is kind of like a lemony flavor, kind of tart. And you can put dandelion greens in there. Lamb's quarter, I haven't seen come up yet. I think it's a little early. I haven't even seen any dandelions yet. But wild strawberries, violets, all this stuff you can use, and you can add the greens to your salads. You can just put them in a blender and with some lemon juice and some water and have your green drink. You can strain it. I was like straining the green drink when I first started drinking it because I didn't like all the fiber, but then I just started getting used to it and drinking it faster because you can blend all that stuff up, all the wild greens, and if you don't drink it fast enough, they'll start to separate, and it can be kind of hard to swallow because all the thick stuff
Just a
goes
little
down at
less
once.
appetizing.
But what's that?
Just a little less appetizing at that point.
Yeah, so you can strain it out and it makes a really nutrient-rich drink. It's got like minerals for replenishing the body. You know, coming from the fasting moon, traditionally in February, people and animals don't have a whole lot of food and they're a little malnourished, honestly. So these spring greens are going to be really high nutrient, really high mineral way to get your body back on track. Just adding the greens to the salad, making a green drink, and then I have a chickweed pesto. I found basically it's just a regular pesto, however you make your pesto. You just replace the basil with chickweed, and it's delicious. And you know, you can add any of the other greens as well, but the chickweed is really light flavor, so
It
it's not
sounds
like
so good.
it's really
Really,
good.
yeah. This is I don't know if you can see this. This is one of
Yeah, I
my
see foraged flavor.
which is all about things that you can find. And right now, yeah, chickweed is definitely up. And my favorite thing at this time of year is to find dead nettle, henbit, and English ivy, which are the three weird purple flowers that you're gonna see in your yard. There's gonna be a lot of them, and they are all edible and very delicious.
I wasn't sure about that red purple dead nettle. If it was edible.
Hold on. I think there's a picture. Okay, so gracious, sorry, I don't want to be one of those people that's like, hello, I will show you the things, but dead nettle and henbit, they look about the same.
And that's another thing. I think that purple dead nettle, it like looks so similar to other things. I'm like, is it that thing? So I'm never quite sure.
Yeah, there's no lookalikes. I mean, there's nothing that you're gonna pick that would hurt you. Anyway.
There was a saying in like herbalism that anything is edible as long as you steep it. Like just boil it first.
Yeah.
You can basically make a tea out of anything green.
Did you say that English ivy was edible? Because I thought that one was toxic.
Not English ivy. Sorry, I probably used the wrong word. It's English. Oh, sorry, my brain is not working really well right now. It's not English ivy. It's creeping ivy, or sorry. I will remember the correct name in about an hour. when I have
The-
time to think
the
about
little-
it. But yeah, right now it's not working for me. It's the one that looks like a little bit of creepy. It looks very similar to henbit, but it also has blue flowers.
Was that the purple dead nettle?
No, it's not dead
It looks
nettle.
like henbit.
I'm sorry. I'm usually not this bad, but my brain is a little bit functional
There's
right now.
definitely a lot more wild edibles than is on this short list the list that I have on the screen right now is like the easy ones that are pretty easy to identify and pretty common. I haven't found as many sorrels, like, but when you do, that makes really yummy tea, and it's just delicious. It like tastes like lemony and kind of sweet. And I'm not a fan of cleavers so much. Like I'll put them in the drink, but they're like those plants that get really big really fast, and they almost have a texture of like a fuzzy hairy texture, but they get like stuck on you, and they're like a fun plant to deal with. It's almost like they have a Velcro texture. But if you're ever not sure about a plant,
Don't eat it.
On the safe side.
Be on the safe side. Don't eat it unless you're really sure.
Yeah, I think we'll maybe towards the end of summer we can have a discussion of wild crafting and like collecting, rose hips and things. Ah, thanks, Cheryl. Cleavers are more medicinal. Yeah, it's like I don't want to eat this, but I know it's good for me. Good for the lymph glands. Cool. And then eating with the seasons, I wanted to share, and I know shout out to Cheryl, she'll recognize these. I don't know if it's backwards
I can't
on
see.
my screen, but these are the Kripalu
Oh,
seasonal
Kapalu,
menus.
yeah.
Yay! Cheryl and I have that in common. We both took yoga teacher training at Kripalu, and it's like this residential yoga program place where you're getting all your meals, and they also have an Ayurvedic school and Ayurvedic massage and things like that there. But their kitchen is amazing, and the food you eat when you're there, you're just like, it's so good. And so their cookbooks are organized. I love that they're spiral bound. They're really short, and they're each season. So you're eating with the seasons. It doesn't make sense to have, a bunch of winter seasonal vegetables in your spring, what you're looking at in the spring. So I just grab out the one for the season and gives me lots of great ideas. Probably one of my favorite spring recipes is slaw. I love making like a cabbage slaw, shredding up some carrots and throwing in some greens in there. I kind of just didn't look up a recipe, but just kind of put what I would put in there. Radishes. Usually the farmers markets will have radishes this time of year, a lot of salad stuff. And I like to do like an Asian slaw with rice wine vinegar, sesame oil, maybe some chili oil to spice it up, sesame seeds, ginger, some orange, like a squeeze of some orange, veganese if you want it like creamier. And then it's best if you make it like the day before. And I make like a whole bunch of it. I'll shred a whole head of cabbage and make a whole bunch of it in a giant bowl. And it just gets better and better over the course of like a week. Anyone else eat slaw or have a favorite spring recipe they want to share? We can chat or we can talk.
I like slaw too. I usually make the kind that has like broccoli and cauliflower and like sunflower seeds and stuff like that. But I do like
I love adding
use
seeds and nuts.
yeah, but I do like you. I usually use some kind of combination of vinegar and oil or veganese. That part's kind of the same. But I agree, you can put all kinds of good stuff in there. You can do kale, like a kale slaw with like a, gosh, so many different things. I have a friend that
With
makes a
the
kale
vinegar
slaw
and the
that's
lemon,
really good.
like cook it almost. And the
Yeah.
acidity of vinegar and the lemon. That's why it helps to let it sit. It's kind of like ceviche, you know, like you can eat the raw fish if you let it sit in the lime and all that.
Excuse me.
So one other thing that's up right now is Oxalis. It's like a clover with a pink flower, and it's a lemony flower, and it has a lot of vitamin C. Emma just goes outside and like eats it all day long, and we add it to smoothies. I put it in sandwiches and salads, and it just adds this like nice lemony kick to everything. It's delicious too.
Yeah, I love that lemony flavor that's in a lot of these wild greens. And you can also just like adding lemons or doing lemon juice in the morning is a really good way to boost your metabolism and get things going, especially in the springtime. So we kind of went over that in the fasting moon last month, but you know, all throughout the spring is a good time to start the day with lemon water. Okay, so shout out to farmers markets. I know they're probably not all of them are happening right now, but this is a list I got from the, what was it called? Edible Delmarva, yeah. And I just pulled the ones that are in the, oh, these are the ones that are in the counties closest to us. I didn't grab, there's some in Sussex County, Delaware, like the Lewis Farmers Market and the Rehoboth Farmers Market. But I think right now the only one really going on is Camden on Tuesdays. I'm not sure if Ocean Pine. Oh yeah, and Ocean Pines is going
Ocean Pines is going on, yeah.
Yeah.
My mom lives there. So yeah, she goes to Ocean Pines Farmers Market every weekend.
Hey guys, Coops doesn't open until May this year, just FYI.
Yeah, Coops is not open until May 1st. I don't know when that is. Whatever that first Saturday.
This is directly from the website from Edible Delmarva. So the dates are kind of like and I'm a vendor for Shore Fresh Growers Market in Princess Anne and Salisbury, and I don't even know when they start yet. I was told April, but I'm not sure if it's like probably towards the end of April or possibly the beginning of May. Probably May is going to be more likely anyway for most of these things. In the meantime, right now is a really good time to secure your membership in a CSA. So if you haven't tried that before, it's usually only open for a small window of time in the spring. This is where farmers will, you can support them and they can support you because farmers are doing all their planning this time of year. That way they know how many people they can support. Like say they have in their plans, they can support like 30 members and as a full share member. And so they'll open it up to memberships and make sure that all that's filled. So they know that people are going to be supporting all their, labor and time and money that they put into seeds and getting the beds ready and the soil and all that is just like a really great way that you can support local farms. So not just by going to the weekly farmers markets, it's like guaranteeing the farmer that you're already bought in for the whole season.
Is it like a subscription box of the vegetables, basically?
Yeah, like so every week you would pick up, and each one's kind of a little bit different. There's a couple that are going more hybrid because traditionally you pay like $400 to $600 for a share. That's where you're getting a weekly box of vegetables. You don't know what you're going to get. You're going to get whatever's in season. and you're going to get a mixture of kind of everything they have. And it's a really, really good way to try new things. I had like never eaten a radish before I got into Lisa's CSA. I was in her CSA in exchange for yoga teaching. So I was doing like private yoga lessons, and she would give me a half share of vegetables, and I got to learn how to eat like all this stuff that I wouldn't have been ever tried. You know, if you just go to the grocery store and you're getting the same like 5 vegetables every week, you're not going to ever get a chance to know what like a daikon radish is, or like kohlrabi, what, you know, Swiss chard and things like that. And
I
it's
can
also going to
share.
help you eat with the seasons.
I can share about. Hey everybody, good evening. I can share about Chesterfield heirlooms. My membership, I do. Theirs is a little bit different. They send out an email, like on a Tuesday, let's say, and you fill out. If you're part of their veggie club, you can order like through their email. Like you click on a link, and it takes you to all their offerings, and you can choose your quantity. You're like doing this pre-order online and paying for it. And then on Saturdays, I go and pick it up at their farm, and they have it all ready for you. So it's not a set amount. It's not you decide what they tell you. It looks like Cheryl does. I've seen Cheryl there. I see a lot of people there. But it's nice because they list all their veggies, all their dairy, and you just pick what you want, and pre-order it. So
What was the name of that farm?
that's the Chesterfield heirloom
Chesterfield.
on the screen right now. The one that says
Chesterfield.
Chesterfield, the one
In Pittsville, right?
correct. It's
Yeah.
in Pittsville.
It's wonderful.
It's great. And since you pre-order it, you're just, you're going to get what you don't have to rush to the farmer's market because you're afraid,
Right.
a vendor will run out of something you want. You're like pre-ordering it.
That's
So
really nice.
yeah, that's my 2 cents about, and I go to the Camden farmer's market pretty religiously on Tuesdays. So basically between Tuesday and Saturday, I get, and I just try to stay out of the big box stores as much as possible by doing those two, those 2 markets of like making it only when I absolutely have to get something that I can't get. But yeah, but thank you. And Roma, thank you for this really comprehensive overview of everything.
I think that's a really good idea, because one thing we've tried over and over doing the CSAs, and we all have different food issues, and it always ends up being like some vegetables rotting in the refrigerator, and then I get really anxious about these things that are going to waste that we couldn't eat in the first place. And then I'm like, so if I can actually pick out which ones it is, I think that's a really great way to go about it. Thank you.
Yeah, so Chesterfield has that veggie club, and then Baywater has like another like hybrid system where they're kind of a CSA, but they're kind of also like just like get it whenever you want it. Like don't worry if you're out of town for a week or you have fruit, you still have stuff from last week that you're not ready for another share this week. So they just have those grab and go boxes, and I'm not sure if you can pick what's in them.
Both, and also both Chesterfield and Baywater are both at the Camden Farmers Market because Camden has a bunch of different, so you can see. I try to support everybody and give a little love, to everyone. But the Chesterfield is what I do on Saturdays, but Tuesday I try to, go to the different vendors at Camden.
And Tara was just telling me today that Blade's Orchard has a vegetable share, and
They do.
I
Yeah.
love their fruit. I think that's cool, but I couldn't go to their website for some reason. It wasn't loading for me. But they have.
Yeah, I don't know about their website, but yeah, definitely. So I just moved down here. I guess it's been almost 3 years, which is alarming to me, but of course, the first thing that I did when I moved down here was try and find a vegetable CSA, because for me, the most important thing in my life is to have local food and to only eat local food. And yeah, sometimes that makes me a little, but we
Right, 'cause you
ended
couldn't
up,
grow that year to
what,
grow it.
Roma?
Because you couldn't grow that year that you moved
Yeah, because we
here.
couldn't grow that year because we had just moved here. Sorry, hold on, I'm gonna be like 2 seconds because you can hear my teapot in the background.
Oh, yeah, no worries. Okay, so I haven't heard much about Groundworks Farm. I know they've been around a long time. It's another one out of Pittsfield.
Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
But
So when we moved here, we wanted to find a place that was local where we could get vegetables, and so we did Blades. We liked that they had a mix of vegetables and fruit as a CSA option.
and I love that, you can meet these farmers when you go to the farmers market. Like,
What?
I love Matt at Chesterfield and Linda at Blades. And actually Ardbrack Acres. Have you guys heard of that one yet? Ardbrack Acres. They have a little place also in Pittsville. I met her when she was teaching at Comico Day School. She was one of the teachers there. My friend worked there, and she was always coming home with tons of vegetables. Like, oh, this other teacher grows all this stuff. And they have a really nice farm out there, and they have a little market on Sundays. It's almost like a little festy kind of market where they have artists and other
if
vendors.
you go to Chesterfield is like down the road from where Ardbrack is.
Hey,
But
Tara, what kind of fruit did Blades have? Can I ask?
It was very all over the place depending on what time of year it was, but I mean, there were about 5 weeks that we got blueberries in our box, and then we got peaches, we had strawberries, I guess, early on in the season, and then blueberries, and then peaches and apples finally. But we stopped, once our own garden was back in play.
Gotcha.
But I do appreciate it, and I feel like they had a good value, for what you pay for the CSA. Like, you got enough out of it. Sorry. The frustration about Zoom is that I can't see who's talking. So who was that?
That was Ileana.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was me. We're good.
I am going to hop back on this Grow Season Planner. I linked this in the event, but I'm going to escape from this presentation to just get into these sheets a little more. How do I get out? Here we go. Let's see. All right. New share. Okay. Okay, can you guys see this planting dates for vegetable crops now?
I can see it.
Yep.
Okay.
And
I
that's
don't
my
know how many of you guys are planning on planting this year, if you're going to do container gardens on your porch, or if you're going to do full in-ground. I know probably Ileana is going to be growing. Obviously Tara is. But this is such a useful tool. It's from the UMES, University of Maryland Extension Office. And they have vegetable planting dates for crops specific to Maryland, this area. And it's in order here, spring planting dates, fall planting dates. It tells you how feet row per person, like if you're growing for 4 people or 1 person, like how much of it to plant, how deep to put the seeds or the saplings or seedlings or whatever you're putting in there. the distance apart, the distance between rows. It's really comprehensive list here. It's just 2 pages. So if you print this out, you know, have it like double-sided, laminate it. That's what I did whenever I was working on planting and planning and stuff. Then I'm going to switch over to this. Can you guys see this colorful chart now? I'm not sure if you guys can see
it's
what.
visible. I can see it at least.
Okay, you see
Yeah,
the
we can
colorful
see it.
chart. I wasn't sure if when I clicked on a new tab if it switched the view. So this is the more visual planner, which I actually like this even better because it's the same plants that are listed in that other chart, but it has it by month and then by color. So the yellow is seeds, directly starting the seeds in the ground. Oh no, it's yellow means start seeds inside. So in a greenhouse or in your house, start them in trays in your closet or whatever. Then the light blue is plant seeds for cold hardy crops directly in the ground. So like beets, you can put the seeds right in the ground. Cabbage, seeds in the ground, not till April. Carrots, chard, I think radishes too. And then your darker blue, it's going to be cold hardy seedlings. So that's where you've already started your seeds inside in the trays, and then you can transplant them outside. So that's why you see it goes from yellow to dark blue. You're starting them inside and then you're putting them outside. And the orange, you're going to plant seeds for your warm weather crops in the ground. And then red are probably like the easiest ones to grow. So if you're like, I don't really want to grow, or I'm not really good at this, so just do the red ones. Because it's going to be really easy. You're going to just buy your little seedlings from a grower or a swap, or maybe ask Tara if she grew enough extra that you can have a little start of your own. I know she helped me last year get some cabbages and broccolis in the garden that I was working on.
I would be really interested in hearing, area specific, people talking about what crops have been successful, because, this is such a huge, comprehensive, big thing. And I think like in the 2 years that I've done it, it's like, we see certain things fail and certain things succeed. So it'd be really helpful to just like people like, what, in this area, these things have grown really well. That would be like so helpful.
Well, and that's Roma, are you okay if I take over?
Yeah, I was gonna say Tara's really an expert on that part because you're always growing. But this list is
I can't figure out. I'm like trying to figure out how to switch it to the right view, but so I can hear you, but I can't actually.
Computer in the upper right hand corner, it says view, and then you can change it from either who's talking.
How do we do that? View. I don't have a thing that says view.
Okay. Are you on a computer or an iPad?
iPad.
Oh, okay. Then it's in a different place.
Well, do you need the PowerPoint to be on, or can you just look at our faces?
Oh, there we go. It is. I mean, but it doesn't matter. I can like talk without seeing somebody, but
it helps to see people.
I cannot see you.
That's why I was suggesting if we take away when Roma's done with her PowerPoint, that we take it away and just go back to the group, and you can that way you'll see everybody.
There we go. I think I'm paused, but I don't know if that's helping.
You have to stop sharing your screen, I think.
Oh.
Yes, maybe. Is there something I'm supposed to do? I don't know.
No, Roma's she's seeing if she can stop sharing her screen so it goes back to all of us.
So just to give you a little background, I started farming, and I use the word farming a little bit loosely. Around 2006. I moved to Chestertown, and we ended up working at a farm, which was Colchester CSA. Definitely like what Roma was just talking about, where you would do a participating share in the farming operation, and I was converted. I never went back. The minute that happened, I loved farming. I loved growing my own food. I never could imagine the idea of not eating food that I hadn't grown myself. And that's where I learned most of what I know, even though I will be the first one to say no one knows everything. There's always a lot of questions about what you want to do, and you have different situations. It's like our bodies, everybody's different, so we don't know what exactly is correct for gardening, but we try our best. So I grow a little bit less than 2 acres of vegetables, and we have chickens, we have a lot of fruit trees. We happened to buy a property that had 18 pear trees and had previously been farmed by someone else who was selling their vegetables. So we were lucky to inherit that. But I don't know. So more or less, I would be more interested in answering people's questions than just chit-chatting about, the nonsense that I do.
Did you find that anyone certain particular vegetables are really good here? Like obviously we're known for being watermelons,
That's true. Though watermelon is a particularly interesting one for me because as it turns out, that is a commercial crop for the lower shore down here, and they do not harvest it anymore. They let it rot in their fields.
What is going on there?
Yeah, so I'm pointing. I don't know if you can actually see this, but I'm so.
Cara, do you think they sell
they
some
don't
of it?
harvest watermelons?
Because I live right next to a field that does watermelons, and they do harvest some of them, but not all of them.
No, ours stopped doing it, and I talked to one of the farmers that was a watermelon farmer, and he said that mostly they sell their watermelons to Canada, and they no longer want to buy watermelons.
Interesting.
And what county do you live in, Tara?
I'm right outside of Salisbury.
Oh, okay.
Me too.
I'm on the other side of 50 from Hebron.
Oh, I feel like there's tons of watermelons.
Me
It could
too.
just be
We
that
must live near each other.
I think there's just
So
like
many watermelons.
probably an abundance of them, and they're letting some rot. But so,
Yeah,
what
there's
would you
a
say
lot of them.
for this area? What have you had really specific success with?
So I'm still learning. I come from Chestertown, like I said, and we grew most of our own food, and we were very successful, and we had a lot of success with okay, so here's the thing. Where I used to live was outside of Chestertown, and we had a lot of clay soil. And moving down here, we have a much more like sandy soil. So you can grow different things, because up there where it was a clay soil, you were struggling, to grow anything. It couldn't infiltrate the soil, but down here where it's sand, lots of things are like, woo. So since we moved down here to Salisbury, which is, I think most of you are Salisbury, I had the most ridiculous tomato year last year. Oh my god. I had so many tomatoes last year. It was like off the charts. I couldn't even like deal with the number of tomatoes I had last year. And we had great peppers, we had great beans. We grow all of our own drying beans. Peas do really well down here. I mean, this is like the prime soil. Lower Shore
it's
is
really
like
good, a
the
good
most
growing
amazing
area.
soil.
We're lucky to be where we are.
Yeah, we really are. You can't even deal with how amazing the soil is down here. And yeah, I saw sorry, I'm just looking at this. We
there's some
do have
comments coming in.
asparagus, yeah. We have about 70 feet of asparagus, and it's amazing. It is really happy. I have a Swiss chard, I have radishes. Beans are amazing, yeah. It's just so easy to grow things down here.
Well, maybe let's talk for a second about what doesn't do so well, because I know we have some predators here, like the Colorado potato beetle that'll
Yeah,
kinda
potatoes
devastate.
were terrible. I did not do okay with tomato or potatoes. We had a lot of, and that's the problem with living down here is, yes, things grow really well because you have a happy climate, it's good soil, but also we are in a place where bugs are prolific. You will have your own share of bugs. And if you aren't okay with spraying, then maybe you shouldn't grow food because I don't want to say that. I mean, you can do your own thing, but
What kind of thing do you treat with, Tara?
neem mostly.
Neem oil, right?
Oh yeah,
That's
I just saw somebody said corn. Yeah, corn is really
It's funny
challenging.
because what you see growing around here is like corn and soy, corn and soy.
I tried corn in my tiny yard one year and I did get little tiny, I did a rainbow heirloom and I got little tiny corns, but you need a lot of corn to get it, what's it called? Yeah.
To pollinate it, right? That's what Heather was just saying. It's like in the grass family, so it needs like a lot of them.
Yeah, squashes grow really well. I do butternut squashes and I just take them out of my, like I'll buy one squash and then dry the seeds and I have seeds for years and I don't even have to water them. I just spread them around the yard and then they do well. And pumpkin seeds do really well.
So you're basically like permaculturing your yard.
Yeah.
Sarah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Well, so the biggest thing for me, and what I would pass along to anyone that wants to start growing is be very aware of how much time you have. You know, it's really exciting to start growing, but you probably don't have as much time as you think you do. So make sure that what you allow to grow is what you have time to deal with.
Yeah, a lot of our agricultural.
Very frustrated.
My biggest problem, so I've been gardening since 2007, and well, first of all, I found broccoli and Brussels and garbanzo beans didn't do well in my soil. I have a lot of shade, so you have to think about whether you have a sunny area or a shady area. And then I would have $300 to $400 water bills because I was out there watering every day, and I realized I had to pick things that did not need to be watered every single day so that I was not paying more for my water than I was going to pay for my food. So things like the butternut squash, where it's just like naturally going down far enough and I didn't have to water it every day, or raspberry bushes, elderberry, mulberry trees, things that, you know, unless you're on a well and you have a deep well and you're not going to be paying a $400 water bill, you know, then yeah, that was my biggest issue. When it got to the, like, we had 3 in a row where it was $400, and Robbie said, I think you need to start growing flowers instead, because the
Yeah.
amount of vegetables that we're getting aren't even worth the water that we're putting back in the soil.
Well, yeah, so that's the point, is you have to be aware of what you're putting in, and don't do anything that's more than you can handle, I would say, because most people I know get really excited about the idea of having vegetables, and then the next thing they know, they're like, oh, well, now I have all these vegetables and I'm out here every single day watering, and I'm tired and I don't feel like it. And they get angry about it and don't want to do it anymore. So, yeah, I mean, the basic thing is like, know what you can handle as, your daily thing.
And also, we mentioned earlier to plan for losses. Like, if you know you need, 4 tomato plants for your family, you got to also take into account there's wildlife, there's pests and bugs, and like maybe plant 5 or like just plant diseases. Like, you kind of almost have to like over plant because you got to plan for some loss. And I remembered another pest is the moth, the little white moth that lays the green worm, the green worm
Cabbage
caterpillars that
moths?
crawl up in the broccoli,
Cabbage worms.
and they eat your
I've never
kale.
been successful with
Oh.
any cabbage, broccoli, Brussels sprouts. They're
Well,
always
I was gonna say we can talk about bugs all day.
Right,
I
that
have a
brassica.
whole talk about bugs.
Yeah, we tried to do we lost all of our kale, which when I lived in Brooklyn, oddly enough, when I lived in Brooklyn, my kale did amazing. And I was in the middle
When I
of
was
like
in
I was
Chestertown, my kale did amazing. But
you
moving
know
to Salisbury,
nothing.
apparently this is bug central.
This is bug central, and we even went so far as to create a fortress like around all of our garden where we planted Santolina, nasturtium, marigolds, like all of these supposed bug resistant protectors, of that. And I think that the marigolds and the nasturtiums and the Santolinas helped some things, but they did nothing. Like the kale was just devoured. The only thing that I've heard of that will ever work is that if you do like a netting, if you put nets on your kale.
So we cover our kale. We use row cover, is what the official name is row cover. And we moved down here, like I said, 3 years ago, and thought that we could do the same things that we did, but apparently row cover has no effect on Salisbury bugs.
Yeah, well,
it's worms. I've seen them because
It's
I tried to do
down
kale
here.
and it was
We are a
worms
different
that crawled up
zone.
and just ate the whole thing.
Yeah, we were just literally the only things that were, like our lettuces did really, really well. And for some reason the bugs left the lettuce alone, which was really interesting since they devoured the kale. And our cucumbers, we did 2 different kinds of cucumbers. And the bugs, somehow what we did with the nasturtiums and the marigolds helped with so certain things that we did with creating the fortress of flowers helped certain crops. That's why it's so experimenting, to Roma's point, like of the loss, like it was like so much experimentation because we never knew how anything was going to turn out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and for me especially, it's been an experiment to come down here and learn that everything I thought I knew about gardening does not apply. Because we're in a different zone. So where I come from, which is 2 hours up the road, is apparently a completely different zone. So everything I thought I knew about gardening doesn't even apply. since I moved down here. Roma,
Do you
you
want
look
to
like you're
get into some of the seed stuff since we're at that point?
Oh yeah.
I know you're starting seeds. I'm not, but I might be doing that soon because my
Wait.
boyfriend's going to be having a huge undertaking. We're getting a high tunnel at his dad's property, so that's going to happen.
Before you get into seeds, I was just seeing that Heather mentioned something about neem, and I was going to ask about that before. So
was that
using
in the
neem,
chat? Sorry.
yeah. So using neem as a sort of the way you would use pesticide, but it's obviously not a pesticide. So what is it going to help with? What is the neem going to do?
Okay, so I use neem on just about everything, but particularly
I know about neem I know about neems for humans. I've used neem on my teeth.
I don't know about it for humans. I couldn't
I've used it in my toothbrush, my toothpaste and hair. I know it as an Ayurvedic human thing, but I don't know about it for plants.
I use it for plants because it's the nice thing about neem is that and other oils, which I use a couple different oils, will block insects from laying their eggs. So when you spray neem on something, like I particularly use neem for things like spider mites, tomato related insects, and what that does is it coats the leaf so that the bugs can't actually lay their eggs. And the nice thing about it is it doesn't hurt your vegetables or your fruits. So you can,
or you when you eat it.
or you, exactly. So you can't go wrong with neem. Like you can spray it all over everything, and it keeps the bugs from doing what they want to do, but it doesn't stop you from.
Cara, does neem hurt bees at all? Honeybees?
Not that I'm aware of. I might be misinformed about that, but as far as I know, it does not. It doesn't seem to.
I hadn't seen anything on it. Do you use is most neem the kind that I use is like a concentrate and you mix it with water? You spray it. It's like an oil that you mix.
I just use it like straight out of the bottle.
Oh, you do? Okay. I think the one I get is it's a type that you mix with a little bit of water, like to break it down a little bit.
There's a couple other things. I use dormant oil early in the season, like right now. I'm using dormant oil, and that's a whole nother conversation. I mean, I could be here all day and we could talk about all the things that I do to raise plants, because I have a little bit of everything.
So you're dropping the neem in water and like making a spray.
That's what I do, but I guess like Tara said, maybe they sell some of it and already ready to use bottles. I probably buy the concentrate because I break a lot of things down that way to be cheaper.
There's a really kind that I've gotten that's pre-mixed and you can just spray it and it's convenient and you don't have to deal with all the.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
I feel like I would prefer a concentrate because it'd be less packaging. I hate paying for water.
Yeah, I liked, but I'm cheaper. I like to get it the cheap way too, but you can get it all kinds of ways, I think.
Well, and I do a lot of spraying, and again, I don't want to take up too much time, but I do a lot of spraying. So I do a lot of mixing, and if there's like one thing that I cannot mix, then yay. Thank goodness.
Tara, can I ask you something else? What do you use for the opposite of the neem, the stuff that makes things grow better? I'm trying to think of what that is.
Fertilizer?
Yes, but the non-toxic, I've used the fish stuff for different things. Mm-hmm. Do you use that, or do you have something better? Can I do this better than that?
And what I was supposed to talk about, but of course, we always end up going off topic when it comes to growing things. When I grow food, I do a mix of, so just seed starting, like this is just what I mix together for starting seeds. Like right now, I just today did a second batch of broccoli and cabbage and some other things. So I use what is a really, if you're all Salisbury people, you can go to Farmers and Planters, and they have this really amazing mix, and it's myco myco something. But if you ask them for sorry, for my brain, they have it there, and I mix that, and I mix seed starting stuff, and I do blood meal, and I do a little bit of what they call like garden town, which is another fertilizer, and I kind of just blend it all together in a bucket and start seeds in that. So when I fertilize,
but what was the thing you said at Farmers and Planters?
it's myco. All right, hold on. I'm going to look at my phone because I know I took a picture of it just the other day.
It's like a pre-blended mix.
It's a pre-blended mix, exactly. It's myco, here it is. Mycorrhizae. General purpose. It's it's general purpose mix. I will send the link to the group so everybody can, but they have it at Farmers and Planters, and if you ask for it, it comes in these big like the same size as a thing of straw. They're huge. And they're fabulous.
Okay.
What, Roma?
Oh, I was just saying bye to Cheryl. She had to log off.
Oh,
Cheryl. So who else is starting seeds indoors now?
So I've tried starting seeds indoors. I can't get them to grow. They all die before the time they're supposed to go out. And I'm on a very shaded property, so I have a lot of trouble with growing anyway.
Do you have any heat underneath the seeds?
I had them next to a vent, like right next to a vent, but not right under them.
So what
they do, so what happens is they grow really
They get
tall
real leggy.
and spindly, and then
they get leggy. Okay.
That's what all of them do.
You need a grow light, or I found that happened to me a lot too, and I realized if I just waited a little bit longer and then started them where they were going to be to get that light that they needed to have, then I had a lot better luck.
You did better. Okay.
Yeah,
I gave up.
Light.
I've given up on that part because I just always struggle with it. I feel like I waste money on the starter kits. I waste the money on the seeds, So.
Yeah, they're reaching for the light and they can't get it.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
And sometimes you do what I do, and you plant an entire tray of tomatoes, and then you drop it on the floor.
Oh no.
That happened last weekend. I dropped all the tomatoes on the floor.
One year I started beautiful cucumbers, and in this window behind me I get a lot of light, and we actually had that year built a whole shelf there so that we could get the light, put the cucumbers out in the yard, and it froze and they all died. Someone is knocking at my door.
That is the biggest thing that I want to tell everybody is, like, if you want a garden, just accept that you're gonna have a lot of accidents. It's just the way that it is. Like, there's no tried and true way to do anything. Oh, sorry. Okay. Now we are all quiet.
That's okay.
I think that's a good point, Tara. I think gardening or any kind of growing, whether it's plants, flowers, food, you've got to be patient. It's a lot of trial and error and a lot of mistakes or mess ups.
Go with it.
there's so many environmental factors that you can't control. And the weather
Sometimes-
now, you
sometimes
get
it
all rain, you get all heat, you get all cold, you get all wind, and it's all at the wrong time. So it's hard.
Well, and I was gonna try and pass this back to Roma a little bit because, you know, that I think is the theme of this month, right? This is the month where we talk about we can grow, but you know, you have to also accept that you're gonna have setbacks and there's gonna be things that are hard to do, and I don't know.
I think most of us here are growing
There we go.
for fun and not necessarily for our sustenance or our livelihood. So luckily, you know, we're doing it as a form of therapy, and you know, it's something fun we can do. And luckily, we all have these resources like farmers markets and things. Also, if you're like not feeling like you can take on growing at home, like go over to Tara's house. She needs help. Go help
I
her.
always
She'll probably pay you in vegetables. And there are plenty of other, you know, farms that'll do the same. If you want to, you know, talk to people at the farmers market, say, hey, do you need some help? But, you know, if you want to learn more about growing, I learned a lot, you know, in my friend Lisa Garfield used to have a CSA, and at first I was just getting vegetables from her, but then I wanted to like go deeper, so I started volunteering once a week at her farm, and I really learned a lot about, you know, like pests, and you know, we were taking care of the pests. We were putting like picking all the potato beetles and putting them in like a jar with some dish soap and water, and you know, that would be like a whole day of that. Lots and lots of time spent weeding, so much weeding. Like May gives you the illusion that you can like control the weeds, but then come June and July, you're just like, no. And then, you know, you're going to get huge harvests and stuff like that. But definitely recommend like volunteering some time at a farm. There's lots of farms around here, small farms like Tara's, like Coops and things like that you can go. Even Chesterfield, I've talked to Matt. He's a really knowledgeable guy. He will have you out and you know, for volunteering. Since, you know, if you're just doing it to as therapeutic, you want to be outside, you know, eating fresh vegetables is nice and everything too. And if you don't mind, you know, we just all have to expect that there's going to be some loss when it comes to farming. So
It's an up and down, that's for sure. Sometimes
well,
it's like amazing, and sometimes, you know, that's farming.
I think the last thing I did want to, if there's any more questions about farming, I kind of wanted to switch gears for the last few minutes.
Yeah. Please.
But if there's anything else you want to add, Tara, did you want to pull a card from your herb crafters tarot? I remember you mentioned that.
A little bit did, but on the other hand, I didn't want to take up too much time.
Well, maybe just pull a card for like the growth season this year. I know this year is supposed to be a cicada year, but I don't know if that's actually going to affect us around here. The 17-year storm.
So actually, Roma and I were talking about this earlier, and if you know anyone is concerned about that, we here on the Eastern Shore weirdly do not get cicadas.
I've heard them and seen them here, so I'm curious to see if they're going to swarm or what.
Which is a strange thing.
Weather, you know,
Yeah.
in
So as far as
years,
the growing year goes,
a lot.
So I as a tarot reader, I can't see my own. There we go. I was going to say I can't see my own thing. So this is the tarot that I use. It's the Herb Crafters Tarot. I am a very happy person who spends all of her time, and all right, let's be honest, like I love that it's getting warm, but I also hate that it's getting warm, because when it gets warm, that means I no longer have any time to myself. And everything I do from now until about November is going to be dedicated to me growing food. So I love that I grow food. I think it's awesome. It's an amazing thing, but also it's exhausting and terrifying and about 20 other things. So yeah, I love reading cards. And what have we got? Ooh, Hierophant, that's crazy. So Hierophant.
Is it cacao?
Yeah. So the cool, I love this deck. This deck is amazing.
Nice.
This seems very related to you going to Mexico, right?
I was like, what? Cacao.
You just go to Mexico.
Art opener, you know.
Hold on, give me a minute. I'm not that good that I can do it. The secrets of the sacred are available to all. Teach them. Spiritual teaching must speak authentically to reach the heart, but some things must be revealed slowly. Have patience.
So true.
And I think
So
that's
true.
really a good lesson for gardening too. Like, have patience, figure it out.
Yeah, and it'd be
Don't
impossible to talk
force
about
yourself
all of it
to
all
do
at
things
once
too
in one
fast.
night. It'd be too much. So that's a perfect card.
That is a really
these
great
are part of learning, and they're just saying, like, open your heart.
Be open, take your time. If you have questions, please feel free to ask me. I love talking about gardening. So, and I have chickens, and I do all the things. I've worked on a lot of farms. I am happy to answer questions.
Cool. Well, I'm going to grab the screen sharing back and just kind of bring you guys into this slide here. You're in my way there. Okay. So one of the themes that I keep seeing in my resources, the Earth Time, Moon Time, and the Moon Magic book of this time is commitment. As we're planning for gardens, we're basically committing. You're budgeting, buying seeds. You're committing to something. So we can do this in many ways, not just for gardening. We can make commitments to, better your morning practice, get up earlier if you're wanting to start something new. This is a really good time of the year to do that, to make a commitment. So one of the things I love talking about, I'm kind of like super passionate about, is this Tibetan 5 Rites of Rejuvenation. You've probably seen me or heard me talking about it or doing it. It's something I started about a little over two years ago. And I heard about it through a yoga group in Arizona, and it's a practice that's said to be the fountain of youth. Like, it's that transformational and effective. So I've been doing it, I would say not every day, but probably like 75 to 90% of the days over the past 2 years. And it's really been transformative and basically like part of my morning routine. And if I know that if I do this one thing, and then there's like 2 or 3 other things that I do as part of my morning routine, it's just gonna like provide the best foundation for my day and make me just feel so good about myself, and kind of give me the momentum to keep making good choices throughout the day. That's basically it's been really, really great for me in that way. And it takes less than 10 minutes. I usually do it in about 10 minutes, but sometimes I'll take longer, like I'll add more yoga into it. And what I wanted to do is offer a 10-day 5 Rites challenge for you guys. So starting next Sunday, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, so that'll be right at the first quarter moon. Every day at 9 a.m. Every day at 9 a.m. I'll go live with the 5 rites in the New Moon Circles group. So not on Facebook in general, but just in the New Moon Circles Facebook. So I think all of you guys are on Facebook, and I'm not sure if you're all in the New Moon Circles group or not. But if you want to follow along, that'll be there. It'll be 9 a.m. every day for 10 days. Usually I do it right when I wake up, so it's going to be a little bit of a challenge for me to wait until 9 because I'm usually up around 6. I see there's a chat. Oh, okay. So certain rites are more challenging than others. This practice is very similar to like a Kundalini yoga practice. It starts with the Adi mantra, which Om Namo Guru Dev Namo, you're calling on your divine power within or your divine wisdom. And then you spin around, and that's like activating your chakras, your energy centers. And then you do these 4 other poses that are stretching your spine in all the different ways. And in those 10 days, I'm going to add on a few other poses here and there from Kundalini, like a cat cow or something. And then it'll end with breath of fire. So if you can wake up and do that every day for 10 days, that might actually jumpstart some cool like morning routine for you. And it's said to be the fountain of youth. And I will say I was starting to get like gray hairs right here. And since I've been doing that, I haven't gotten any more. So I don't know. People tell me I look young all the time. So I don't know if it's working, but it's definitely making me feel great. I'm not just doing it because about it. But it's something I'm really passionate about. I feel like it really works for me. So if you want to follow along, I'm going to be doing it in that group exclusively. So I'm not, broadcasting it all over everywhere because people I'm sure are tired of seeing me do the 5 rites. But if you want to follow along, that's something going to be there for you, and I'm doing it for you guys. So hopefully start something new in you. Yay. So that'll be next week. Tonight is daylight savings, right? So we're going to be going forward.
Tomorrow, daylight savings.
Tomorrow, yeah. So like it's going to be darker in the morning, and we're going to get a little more daylight in the end of the day, which will be nice for bike rides and stuff. Let me see.
And it's just an amazing time to go outside and see what's growing, I would say.
Yeah, definitely go outside, see what wild greens you can find, see if you can find a good area that's free from pesticides, car exhaust, and dogs, and make yourself some wild green.
Roma, can you give everybody my contact, or I can try and give everybody my contact? But
I'm thinking the group is probably the best way to do that. The New Moon Circles group.
Because if anybody has any follow up, I'm always happy.
Yeah, so Cara is tagged in all of the little posts about this. I sent email out.
Me questions. I'm not a master gardener. I wish I was. I just don't have the time or the money to be a master.
If you want to follow Tara, friend Tara, because she does some really fun garden tours of her garden, and I love watching those. Yeah. But I can't get out there all the time. I like to see, how your garden grows. I like the Facebook lives that you do. Okay, so I have some journal prompts here. What's your soul calling for? What's the voice in the back of your head telling you to do? Like, no idea is a bad idea. Start a journal that's just called Bad Ideas, and start writing those things down, because you never know, those things might become your reality one day. And that's, at one point when I was married, I kind of thought my life was going one way, and when I left, it's like my life opened up in ways I didn't even know was possible, and all the dreams I had started to come true. So this is just the time of year that it's good to kind of listen onto your intuition and start taking actions. What's something I can commit to for myself this year? Allow your intuition to shine through and decide to take action and commit to something new today. What do I want? What is your dream life? Write down how your best day would go. What's your morning routine going to look like if you're living your best life? What kind of things are you going to do throughout that day? Those are some little journal prompts for you guys. And that does come from the Earth Time, Moon Time book that I referenced last week. Okay, so I do have the full schedule, not the full schedule. I'm still got, I think, like 4 months that I need to fill with people. I have the topics figured out, but I don't have the guests figured out yet. But I have all the way through. So April, May, June, July, the schedule and the host, the topics are all up on my website. It's romanomad.com and on the moon circles. So you can see that. You can donate there. I'm still going to make a Facebook event each month, but I'm going to not make it $2.99. I'm going to start using Zoom. It's basically just a donation. A suggested donation would be nice to have, but I don't want that to be a barrier for anyone to participate. So I do appreciate if you have contributed very much, because I do a lot of work for us. And these are my main resources from my books. So yeah, that's it for tonight. Any other little comments or
questions?
Yeah, this was awesome. Thank you so much. And and Tara's in the Facebook group, right?
I am, yes.
Okay, great, cool. Because I would love for you to link any information about the neem spraying or the farmers and planters stuff, just because I want to make sure I got your suggestions. So even if you like put them, when you find them, put them in like one of the posts that Roma tagged you in or something, because then we'll all see it. But yeah, it's nice because as our minds are going to awakening our beds again, our gardening beds, it's a process. And
yeah, that's for sure.
to just get your mind going there and get the inspiration. And Roma, I'm definitely game to do one of those future ones like we talked about, doing sound and doing maybe one with our voices and leading people in just a guided sort of vocal experiential sound healing, stuff like that.
And I'm thinking maybe the harvest moon, but I'll talk with you more about that.
Yeah, that sounds
we are going to have, September. We'll talk.
Yeah.
But we are doing with Hamilton in July. He's going to do some shamanic and breathwork training with us. And Courtney in June is doing a sound bath.
Awesome.
So it won't be like a lot of discussion. We'll just like turn your, plug your headphones in or your good speakers on and just like zone out a little bit.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We got some fun stuff.
Well,
next month is going to be all about the yoni. We're going to be talking about lady business.
Yeah, and it would be really cool if we can take advantage of the nice weather, if we can do these in an outside in-person space, and choose which ones we can get off of Zoom.
Yeah, that might be a good one for harvest.
Yeah, well, and definitely like I would love to have people come over and
well, it would be really fun to tour your garden. Yeah, like a live in person.
Do pictures. My original plan that I was gonna do pictures, and then I was like, oh, nobody really needs to see that. But yeah.
Where are you exactly? You said you're outside of Salisbury. Where are you?
We're do you know where Log Cabin Road is?
I
We're
Yes, I live
north-south.
right off of it.
Are you?
I
You're
wondered
near-
when you were talking about the watermelons if we live near each
Mhm.
other.
Yeah, we're right by there.
I live
okay,
off of Northwest.
do you know where the Rofo is? That's where you hit the bypass, like the bypass and 50 meet.
Mm-hmm.
It's like off of 50 when you're heading out of town.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so where the
Yeah.
bypass and 50 come together, and there's the Royal Farms. We're like behind it.
Oh yeah. I'm around the corner.
That's about
By
where
the
we.
hemp farm.
Yeah, I'm around the corner.
All
That's
right,
cool.
Heather, are we like neighbors? And I didn't even know.
Yeah, apparently we are.
All right, well, let's connect later, and we'll figure out.
Mhm. Yeah, I think
We're-
that's a
we're-
great idea. If everyone wants to schedule like farm tours at Tara's. It's just
Yeah.
I'm game. Let's do
I
it.
think like in another month or two.
I put benches. Now I've got like trails and benches, and we got the whole thing going on.
Yeah, I love it.
Totally
And then
game.
the pears that
you.
you have in abundance. I made some very yummy. Well, actually, our DOS made some really yummy pear jam, and I was just eating the Asian pear.
Oh
jam.
yeah. Oh, that pear jam was. Oh, that was like the best pear jam in the whole world.
Yeah, I was using it like chutney on samosas and egg rolls and stuff.
So
Did you
yeah.
still have some
Thank you,
questions?
ladies.
Heather, did you want to say something?
I just have to go. I just wanted to say thank you.
Oh,
I
okay.
really appreciate
All
it.
right. Good night, you guys.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everybody.
Night. Thanks for having me.
Sarah, and thank you, Sarah, and everyone else. Thank you for being here.
Thank
Yay,
you.
we did it.
Good night.
I'm glad this worked out.
Yes, thank you so much.